What's good, man? Welcome to Cap Space, man. I'm happy to have you. I'm here with my man, Dallas Jackson. You can introduce yourself to the audience.
What's up, everyone? I'm Dallas Jackson. I am a senior student athlete. I play baseball here at James Madison University here in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Senior baseball player. Now,
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to take you back. What's funny is to let everybody know, I coached Dallas, and I didn't coach baseball when he was a little guy. He was a basketball player. I know you for playing basketball. You was a basketball player. You was always the fast guy, always good, always hustling, and definitely a great kid. How did you, well, first of all, how many sports did you play? Because what I did notice is there's a lot of guys who played basketball when they were younger. And then when I look now, they in college playing football, they in the pros playing a total different sport. How many sports did you
Yeah.
play growing up?
So growing up, I played three sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball. Honestly, baseball was like the third one. That was just like this when the spring came around. That's what you was gonna do because we're gonna put you on something so you won't get in trouble. So football and basketball were the main two.
Yeah.
Then growing up was CYBL, then Chamberlain, and playing baseball out there. Of course, like with all the guys I grew up with. Got to middle school, same thing, three sports all year round. Then got to high school, my freshman and sophomore year, I played all three sports. Then it was my junior year. That's when I cut out basketball. So it was just football and baseball. Then my senior year is when I cut out the rest of them. It was just baseball.
It was just baseball. So you did play. You played baseball at Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did. So because I remember Chuck playing, but again,
yeah, I played at Chamberlain and I played at Mechanicsville Little League as well.
Okay. Like I said, I just remember the basketball piece, and then as you get older, of course, you took your own path and your own journey. And I think I ran into your mom probably a couple of times. And she said, yeah, he still play here. And then I think I ran into your dad. And he was like, no, I think you was playing football and baseball maybe at the time or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I don't know how, somehow I seen JMU and I seen a picture of you. I said, hold up, that's Dallas. I didn't even know you played baseball. And the same thing happened with Jalen. I used to play he played basketball with us. Then when he got
to the Notre Dame,
it just surprised me. And I think they won a state championship at LT Bird. Like, he's the quarterback. I was like, man, these dudes were good basketball players and just pick the other sports. Okay, that's cool. So what you think is what benefits you playing major sports? And I ask that because a lot of parents nowadays, what they do is they push their kids towards one sport, especially when you talk about boys and just specializing in one sport. And a lot of people say, like I hear now, they say that's how kids become more injury prone now because their body is not as flexible because they just so laser focused on one thing. So, what was the benefit of playing multiple sports?
Like you said, like I think playing one sport, I know there's going to come a time that student athletes are going to have to choose one or the best two that best fit them. But playing other sports just like alleviates your body of so much stress. Yeah. Like playing one sport, you're constantly working that same muscle group over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. So working the different muscle groups, every sport is a different type of training. So baseball training and baseball shape is different than football shape and basketball shape. Yeah. So just letting your body experience different trainings, different recovery patterns. That's what develops your body and molds your body being a good student athlete.
Yeah. Okay. Did you think about when you was in college? Did you even think about like playing football or basketball? Or you just was like, nah.
Yeah, I feel like to this day, like I got recruited out of high school to play football in college. The same thing with also ran track. But honestly, it just depends. Like you see these guys, like it's crazy to think about. Like in high school, like I was tall. Like I was tall for my high school. Like I'm with cats now, and I'm like middle of the pack, and I'm 6'2". Like we got dudes on my
Hold on. Stop the press. I haven't seen you probably since you was probably about 12.
Yeah.
You're 6'2" now?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And the funny thing, you were short for, you were one of the smaller guys.
Exactly. I'm saying like me being 6'2", like this dude's on my team 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
I see basketball players I'm friends with across campus 6'6", 6'8". You know what I'm saying? Like these football players are all 6'4", 225. Like these. So looking at them now, I'm like, see, I don't know if I'm cut out for all that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm totally with you. So let's talk about, like, we talked about you playing multiple sports, and I know like I know it's taxing on parents. Let's talk about your parents' influence. Like I know as you were younger, like I loved your parents. Your parents are one of the best parents to probably to probably be a part of our organization. For one, because a lot of times, and this is not to shade parents in general, but they just come and they drop their kids off. Your mom would do the clock, your mom would take score, and I think, your dad, he never was overbearing. He let us coach you, period. One of the things that I always remember about your dad, which was funny, is he could watch you on the court and he'd walk down out the bleachers and he'd just stand there. And he wouldn't say it so you would see it, but he'd put his hand over his mouth and be like, Dallas is tired, get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew you, of course, being your father better than anybody else, but he wasn't one of the parents that would be, thinking you should get more time. Everything was fair with him, and I definitely appreciate that. But what type of influence did your parents have with you, one, playing multiple sports, which I know was a lot of running around? Like, what was that, growing up? How was that growing up?
Honestly, I think that is the biggest part in young athletes' development is their parents. The parents play a crucial role in the development of their kids. I know some sports, the dad or the mom is the coach, and I'm all for it. But it comes to a certain point that you got to kind of give on that leash and let someone else try to coach your kid.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between being a parent and being a coach.
Yeah.
And I know some parents, I'm not no shade to parents that try to do both, but I think there comes a time that a child hearing someone else's voice might, or like, because I've heard things from, here at James Madison University, like I can talk to my coaches about anything. I can go to their office whenever I want. They don't have to be baseball related. Like you establish relationships with other people, and they might say something that clicks more than if a parent would. So I think as for the parents, really let your child, like, of course, be there for them, motivate them, hold them accountable. But I think don't be too overbearing, because it's already enough pressure on themselves, because they just want to be the best. They're trying to prove themselves and to prove to other people. So I think just as long as you're guiding them, then I think that's all the parents can really do.
Yeah, parents need to definitely take note on that, especially like when you start talking. I know not a lot of African Americans play baseball. Probably, proportionately wise. I'm not saying a lot across the board, but I'm saying not a lot when you're looking at basketball and football. And the funny thing about that is our parents or people think they know everything. Even if you played, even if you coached, it's like you and somebody could not have played and be a great coach because they studied.
Right.
But I just think it's like a lot of bravado in those two sports. I'm like now, my daughter, she plays tennis, and I've learned a lot about tennis with her even playing. But of course, it's not a lot of African Americans in it. So when I look at it, it's like, it piques my interest to learn new things. And sometimes, like you said, like I might take her out to the tennis court, but I really prefer not to. I prefer somebody else to take her out to the tennis court, because of course, it's just that I'm going to push her, and I probably push her more than I really need to. You get what I mean? So I totally get that. And I think that's one thing that a lot of parents need to understand. And again, especially from a basketball and football standpoint, because that's what we play majority. And, of course, track, but a lot of parents don't probably be as involved when it comes to track. It's like, oh yeah, my kid run track. We're not really trying to track, but most parents probably tried to play basketball or football or something at one point. So another question, what made you pick baseball out of all the sports you play? Because you said you ran track.
Yeah.
You played basketball, football. What made you choose baseball, especially with not a lot of people you probably grew up around playing baseball?
Yeah, 100%. So basically, it came down like growing up, I was accident prone. I got hurt every year
You
for
did?
every sport. And honestly, after I played travel ball and stuff, then one of my travel ball coaches, actually after one tournament, like I will always remember, he pulled me aside and basically looked at me and said, "I was like, you have the potential to play Division One baseball." And that's the first time like I've heard someone actually tell me, tell me that. It was literally from that day on. It took off. I said, "This is what I want to do."
How did
Those words that came out of his mouth, that you have the potential to play Division One baseball. From there, I said, "This is what I want to do."
so how did you from a training standpoint, like were you going to the batting cage? Like how do you and again, and I know baseball is one of those technical sports, like you can't
Yeah,
just
it's
pick up a
different.
bat and think you're gonna be swinging 100
Yeah,
miles at 100 miles per hour pitches. You get what I mean?
yeah. It's the training is very it's different. It's real different. I know like football players in the weight room and basketball players are putting up shots, and we do the same type of thing. Taking swings every day, more technique stuff, and mental stuff rather than physical. The baseball game is 80% mental, 20% ability. So honestly, once you got it up here, everything else take care of itself.
Everything else take care. So and like you said, it's mental and physical. So from a training standpoint, you know, in basketball, it's like suicide, like things like that.
Yeah.
So in baseball, what's the hardest part of the training? Like and I'm not trying to be funny because
No, no,
I think
100%.
baseball
Because
players.
I get it. I get it all the time when other athletes joke. I was like, "Do y'all condition? Cause y'all just run to the base and stop." I
Yeah.
get it all the time. But honestly, the hardest part is this: results, results. Your mind, like just positive thinking. As the You have to have positive self-talk. If you don't, you will not make it far in this game. Like I said, it's 80% mental, 20% ability. Like, for example, on a Friday night versus the number one team in the country, like when I step in that box and I'm already defeated up here,
Yeah.
just because of whatever the stat sheet says.
Yes.
Like once I'm defeated up here, you might as well not even step in the box. You might as well not even like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Because all because of up here. So no matter how much work you put in, how many swings you took, how many ground balls you take, doesn't matter. Once this is gone, you might as well go sit it back down in the dugout.
So it sounds like you sound like every time you step up to the plate, it's like going for the game winner from the free throw line. No seconds left on the clock.
No, it literally that. Like they say, like there's books out there and like articles out there that they say that baseball players are the cockiest players in sports. And I agree. Like if you watch some of these, even JMU, if you watch us, I watch some of these top programs in the country, the way they carry themselves. Like we carry ourselves in a way that we know what we're doing. Even if we mess up, keep going. Because the minute that you're not stoic and show any type of emotion, you're already defeated.
You're defeated. So it's all baseball is all mental.
It's all mental.
I might
If
have
you're mentally tough up here, I promise you, your ability, especially when you get to the college level, listen, I swung the bat enough. There's nothing else to do with my swing. My swing is fine. It's all right here now. It's all right here.
So if you had so like if you was talking to some kids, right? What would be and I know you say mental, and I know that's probably definitely the hardest part for a kid, or if you got a kid that's struggling to pick a sport, like what advice would you give them? Like if a kid say, "Hey, I want to be a baseball player," like if you had to do it all over again, and like right now you played baseball is your thing, you played in college. Say if you could go back to when you was 8 and 9, would you focus more on baseball? Do you think that would change where you're at now, or you don't think that would have really changed you?
No, I think I think I would have definitely. It's actually weird. I definitely think I would have still chose baseball. The only thing I would have changed is my level of competition, meaning playing versus teams that are better than some of the teams. Like rather than going to tournaments and destroying people, and
Yeah,
just knowing you can go to a tournament that's gonna be tough. That you might come in last, where you might face a little bit of adversity. I'm not saying a lot, because when it comes down to it, that's what every sport comes with adversity.
Yeah.
But that's what trains your mind. That's what makes you mentally tough. Overcoming adversity, injuries. It could be playing time. It can be.
Yeah. I think it. Oh, okay. Yeah, it kind of paused for a minute, but yeah, because you know, and it's going back when you look at like when kids start to play on the college level. Like what I said, I was surprised to see you playing baseball, and like I said, I knew you played basketball. I knew you played football, and I might have just forgot you played baseball, but I know we was traveling playing basketball, so I know you wasn't traveling playing baseball. But I like that you mentioned the fact that you said you would have played up to increase the competition. And I think, you know, like now, again, with our people, when we focus so much on basketball, but I don't think we camp enough, right? I think too many people run the AAU circuit, and that's probably in any sport, versus going out playing against other levels of competition or other people in other states who might be craftier at something else where you can learn something. So I think that's definitely a big part. So coming out of high school, what was, I guess, like your offers like? You know, you had JMU, which is a pretty well respected school for baseball. I did a little research, and like I said, when I seen you there, I was very impressed. So hold up, because you know, the school has a rich history for baseball. I was like, this guy must really can play baseball. So coming out of high school, what was the offers like for baseball?
So I actually committed to JMU fairly early. I committed to JMU the fall of my junior year.
Wow.
But I had basically every school in Virginia for baseball. And there were a couple schools in North Carolina that were reaching out, but by then, that early in my commitment, I already committed here. I already knew I wanted to be here. So once, and it's crazy because our coach actually coached at VMI before he got here, and I was recruited to go to VMI, but VMI was not fit for me, and I wasn't gonna go to VMI. Basically, some people knew that there was going to be a coaching change.
Yeah.
He was going to JMU, and as soon as I knew that, decision was made.
Did you make the decision before you even went up to see what the school like, or you've been here before?
I've been here.
Oh, okay.
So I came to a camp here.
I was about to say probably a camp of tournaments. Okay.
I've played a few tournaments here. I went to a camp here. Actually, after one of the camps is when they offered me.
Okay.
Right after one of the camps, they offered me. Of course, I didn't take it right away. Slept on it for a little bit. But yeah, I committed fairly early in my recruiting process, and I wouldn't change that. I feel like it's not even a stressful time. It's a great time. I think as student athletes in high school should enjoy the recruitment process because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But if you know where you want to be, go for it. Don't let anyone try to sway your decision, change your decision. If you feel like that school is right for you, academically, athletically, socially, as where it is, if it fits, meets all your requirements, go for it. And I actually speak on this a lot with high schools around the area, especially big time athletes. Don't go to a school just because of the name of it.
Yeah.
I know lots of these student athletes here, Clemson, and Alabama, and Duke, and you can name it, any Power 5 school. Not go to a school just because of the name of it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3 schools that can offer what you want. Every person has their own process on how they get to the league. Yeah. Not every football player went to Clemson and won a national championship and got drafted. Not every basketball player went to Duke and played for Coach K and was one and done. Not every baseball player played for Vanderbilt and went to the College World Series. Yeah. There's guys that are undrafted. There's guys that go play Division 3 and be the best Division 3 player on their team and get drafted. There's guys that go JUCO. There's guys that go Division 2.
Yep.
Do not go to school just because of the name of it. That's the biggest thing I stress to high school students, athletes who are coming out of high school to go to college. Find a place that fits good for you and your family, and go there and be the best student athlete you can be.
Yo, you know what's funny, man, and I'm gonna credit that to parenting, man, in your circle, because you see a lot of kids that have Duke dreams, but have I'm not going to, I don't even, because all levels of basketball, all levels of sport can be good, but don't have, have a junior high school work ethic. Let me put it that way. And I think that's definitely a great point that you hit on. People look at and you see it again. Me, I have the basketball background. You see it in basketball a lot, where it's like you look at a kid and it's like, yes, you had a great tournament, but why would you go to a school like that might be too big for one, which you come from, and two, the next hot player out that town, they'll probably recruit over you. And then so yeah, it definitely has to be a great fit. I thought that was
It's
definitely
literally what I stressed in the high school. When you get to college, it's a different breed everywhere. Everybody was that all-state
yes.
basketball
Yeah.
player. Everyone was that. e- Everyone was the best in their high school. That stuff don't matter anymore.
But again, and it's funny because, and then not to go off topic, I have conversations on Facebook with guys, and it'd be great debates to me. They think that, people being their feelings, but we always talk about reclassing and things like that. And, I'm not a big fan of reclass, like everybody, it's too much of that going on. That's my take on it. And it doesn't really benefit like, what's the benefit of it? Because if you can play, like you said, you can play. Yeah, some kids might need another year, but I say go to prep school route and play with a lot of guys that's probably going to be in your age bracket, um, but not to get off because, but that's definitely the thing. It's like, if you can play, if you're going to develop, and say you just coming out of school and you need to go to a D2 school, do that extra year development. You might be able to transfer out, or guess what? You might not be as good as you really think you are, because the school doesn't make people. The school doesn't make you. Yeah, they might have better equipment, they might have better coaches, but if it's not in you, it's not in you, regardless. Because they can't make you. You're gonna have to make yourself. Like you said, everybody there was the man at high school, or had some level, some type of level of excellence coming out of high school, and that's definitely a great point. So I know a lot of parents who might be, saying, hey, I got a young kid, and if they should play baseball or not. And a lot of kids, their parents they're looking for probably scholarship. So scholarship money in baseball, I've heard stories of, man, and I know it all probably depends on the school and Title IX and things like that. But generally coming out, did you like I don't want to say a lot of guys, but were guys you were familiar with, were they getting scholarships, or it's kind of like 50-50, or how did that work out?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of speculation with baseball with scholarships, but to be honest, it's just like any other sport.
Mm-hmm.
You good? If you're good, you're gonna get a scholarship. I'm on scholarship. Like,
Okay.
it's just that simple.
Is
That's simple. Like, I've heard it all. Like, people speculate because how the money stuff works. It's just like every other sport.
okay.
Some people are on full, some people are on partial, some people are walk-ons. Same thing as
Mhm.
every other sport. I don't know what
Okay.
the deal is with baseball. And everyone thinking they don't give us scholarship but don't give us money. That's not true. If
Yeah,
you're good, you're gonna.
I hear that quite, like, oh no, it's not no real money in baseball, you
It's the
know.
same thing.
And that was my principal thought, is if you good enough,
Yeah,
it's to find the money somewhere.
yeah, yeah. If you're good, you're gonna get the money. That's plain and simple. If
Okay.
you ain't good, you're gonna get the money.
So do you think, of course, with it being Black History Month, do you think it should be more African Americans that should chase the baseball dream? Like, do you
Yeah,
think more kids
why
should
not?
play baseball?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I wouldn't. I think it's actually great to see. Like, when we travel all over the country to see the play universities. Like, when my freshman year went to University of Tennessee.
Mhm.
There's 6 African American guys on their team, and I
Mm.
said, "What's up?" to every single one of them.
Yeah.
Not because they're African American or, well, we're playing to. It's just like the culture
Yeah.
of baseball, not spawning a lot of
Yeah.
African Americans.
Yeah.
So I think, of course, I will always stress that young athletes to get into baseball. It helps a lot. It can help you with other things of other sports.
Mhm.
Your hand-eye coordination, your rhythm and timing of like your footwork and stuff. You
Mhm.
work some of the same muscle groups, but in different ways.
Different ways.
So I'll always stress for youth athletes to try to get into baseball. It's hard. It's a hard game, just like any other game. But if you put your work in, as if you do basketball or football or softball or tennis or soccer or any of these sports, you're gonna get the same result. Same result, different sport.
But the thing is, I think a lot of kids rave over the cool factor of, I guess it makes, basketball, because it's so visible. Football is so visible, even though they have helmets on. 9 times out of 10, you don't know who 90, because it's guys here that walk around Richmond. I might see them in the mall, I might see something, and I might be with somebody, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's dude that played for the Ravens," or "That's dude," and I'm like, it's so many football players, but because they had a helmet on, or it's not as visible like basketball, you really don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't know. And the same thing for, like, baseball. Who knows, unless you're in the culture, who really plays? You get what I mean? So what do you
Oh,
think?
I know. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, so what do you think that if the visibility increased, is this that more kids might start to play it? Maybe we put
No.
a billboard up on Mechanicsville with with Dallas Jackson. Dallas Jackson, JMU baseball player, so kids could see, because the average kid probably wouldn't know you play baseball,
Oh, 100%. There's people that still know. They know I go to JMU, but they probably think I go to come here to play football or something.
Yeah.
There's a handful of people. Oh, this is a good amount now. I'm a senior, but when they found out I came here to play baseball, it's like, for real.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're that good. Like, it's that type of thing. But I think visibility, what I tell the youth athletes, like, I know they all love money. They all want to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I tell them to go look up who has the biggest contract in the MLB, who has the biggest contract in the NBA, and who has the biggest contract in the NFL.
Yeah.
And let me know who makes the most money.
Yeah.
And that solves it right now.
Yeah.
That solves that argument.
Yeah.
It might not be the most fun sport to watch, but who makes the most money?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in New York, so I grew up a Yankees fan, which I'm still am a Yankees fan, and I do appreciate baseball. Although, it probably is my third or fourth sport I might watch, depending on the pecking scale. And the summer, I'm an October baseball guy.
Listen, I am a full student athlete baseball player. Yeah. And I can tell you, if it's not opening day or October baseball, you don't have to wear a Dallas Jackson turn on to watch the baseball. I promise you. And I play baseball for a living.
Yeah.
If it's not opening day,
that's how I feel.
Or Jackie Robinson Day, or if it's not October baseball, got other things to do.
I'm like, man, look, they got 100 and something more of these games to go. I could skip one.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So how about as far as money? Is baseball an expensive sport?
Can be. It can be. But it's all in preference. Bats can run you hundreds of dollars, but so can shoulder pads. You know what I'm saying? So like it all depends on, and so can basketball shoes. So like it all depends on.
So what about training? What about training? So, basketball, you could kind of get by a lot of times by yourself.
Yeah.
Baseball, you probably can for some, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, you can, but you can't. You can, but you can't. I can go hit by myself and hit off the tee, but after a while, you want to see a live ball at you. You want to see some movement or some velocity. But same thing with basketball. You can go put up shots, but after a while, you might want someone to pass you the ball and shoot off the. You know what I'm saying? Catch and shoot. And then with football, you can throw. You can be a QB or wide receiver and catch balls all over a machine, but eventually you want a quarterback to throw to you. So I relate to every other sport. It's just like every other sport, but just a different dynamic. So yeah, I can go hit off the tee by myself, but like I said, it comes to a point in time that I would want some real velocity. I want some, you know what I'm saying? I want something coming at me so I can get a better feel.
So when you got to, say, high school, did you find it hard? Because, like I said, basketball, you could call everybody, look, man, let's do this, let's meet there. Is it the same for baseball? Can you call a couple of guys up? Look,
it's actually completely different. Of course, back home, I got like a few guys that like I know that play college baseball, Division I baseball at big time schools. I know a few pro guys, but it's more, it ain't, oh, everybody let's go to the court and let's run 5 on. It ain't that. More like, I'll maybe hit 1 or 2 guys up and like, let's hit or let's throw. Because like I said, it's a very mental capacity game. And sometimes less is more, meaning maybe less people, the more you can get out of things, more quality reps, more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also, just like when you're training, as for any sport, you're going to be locked in.
Yeah.
And I know for me, that means, that doesn't mean silence, but I don't need 30 people, 30 to 35 people doing different things, hitting or throwing. I need to be locked in with my 2 or 3 guys for me to work on a specific task. And I know it's with baseball here, like we have team practices and stuff. You might be wondering, like, you have 40 guys on your team, how do you get locked in? It's a different type of situation. It's a different, we're all doing a specific task or doing a specific thing to reach a common goal.
Yeah.
So it's not like those, I got some guys talking about what they're doing tonight, some guys talking about what they're about to eat, and some guys talking about you know what I'm saying? As if it's a very structured atmosphere.
Okay. And what position you play?
I play outfield.
Outfield.
Mostly play center and left, but I'll sneak in the right every now and then.
You be having the shades on and all that?
Of course. Of course. Be standing out there just waiting for a ball to come to me.
So, advice for parents, like what would you tell a parent, like, again, if they have a child who want to get into sports, you know, and they kind of on the fence, oh, should I put them in soccer? Should I put them in baseball? Should I put them, you know, what would be your advice to parents to try to get them to chat for their child to play baseball and give some of the benefits of it?
Yeah. It's not just baseball. It's also, I would say, put them in as many sports as your time as a parent, because you'll be the one that's taking them to practice will allow. I mean, it will only benefit them. It will only benefit them. They don't like a sport, do not force your kid to play the sport. Let them play the sport that they love. Whether that's doing a different sport every season, I don't know. I don't care what it is. But let them play as many sports as they can for as long as they can. Because coaches say it all the time. There will be a time that the game will be taken away from you.
Yeah.
And it's true. So I say play as many sports as you can, and it's for as long as you can.
Okay. So give me some advice for a kid who say, man, I want to be a baseball player. Say you got an 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid. And of course you say, man, play as many sports as you want. Suppose he just zoned in. What advice would you give him? Like, what steps would you tell them as far as baseball, you know, constructing to be a better player, like routine?
Yeah, I know, because like a lot of players at their age are already destined to play that one sport, whether it's football or basketball or baseball or soccer or softball. But the biggest advice I would tell them, and I still use this advice for our freshmen, our incoming freshmen, quality over quantity. The biggest thing that I've learned since I've been here is taking care of your body. And I think if I would have done that at a younger age, I'm not saying eating healthy 24/7 or working out or drinking water. I'm not saying that, but taking the time to rest and recover and not overuse those certain muscles that you're going to be using all the time. If you do stick to one sport, there's really quality or quantity. If you're a hitter and you go to the cage and you take 20 and 25 beautiful swings, call it a day. Call it a day.
Okay.
You don't need to go to the cage and take 150 headless swings that don't mean anything. Quality over quantity, and that's for any sport.
Okay.
Get your work in, get in and get out.
Get in and get out, and that comes like increase your focus on what you're doing, pretty much.
Yeah.
Know what you're doing, set the limit, and get up out.
Have a defined task. Get 1% better every day, and that's all you can ask for. Everything else will take care of itself. You will get to a point, especially college athletics. It's not about your ability. If you didn't have the ability, you would not be there, no matter what school you go to. Yeah, that's getting 1% better every single day. Bettering yourself was mentally, physically. It could be anything, emotionally. Like better yourself at all aspects. And it gets to a point that like I talk about this as more than being an athlete. People get to school where they say like those shirts that say like ball is life. I'm sorry, but ball is not life at all.
Yeah.
There's more to life than being a basketball player, a football player, a baseball player. There's so many things that you can better yourself at. Because at one point you're gonna hit the real world when you grow up. You're gonna need a job. I told you the game's gonna be taken away from you at some point.
Yep.
You gotta be able to build a toolkit that allow yourself to succeed outside the playing field.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real words. And the funny thing is, and I'm looking here and I'm kind of looking at my questions right now. I do see quite a few chunky baseball players in the pros. So
yeah.
And I know you mentioned nutrition. What's some disciplines like as far as like, like boxers when they gotta cut weight and things like that. And I know you mentioned about taking care of your body. And I know what you, like I said, I don't know if you still as fast as you were when you were young, but we used to always tell you a lot. Slow down, because you was like Speedy Gonzalez up and down the floor, which was a great thing because at that age, speed is crucial. You skills, you everywhere, and a lot of times I know we used to be like, man, you just too fast for your own good, which is great. But what are some like disciplines that come with playing baseball? And I know it's the same probably with like other sports, but like, is it more like a focus because you have to see the ball coming? I know everybody probably don't hit, but you get what I'm saying? Like, what are some disciplines that people might come or somebody could practice?
It's more of a focus. It's more of a focus. Here, we always say so the average baseball play takes 6 seconds. So we play in 6-second increments. And if people do not know that baseball does have the longest season of all sports, here at college we play anywhere from 55 to 65 games. So that's like 4 or 5 games a week. So it's hard to maintain focus and be locked in for that long. And our games last anywhere from the short of 3 hours.
Yeah.
Don't go to extra because you might be 4.5, 5.
Yeah.
So like, it's hard to maintain a certain focus for that long. So you play in 6-second increments. Pitch to pitch, lock in for 6 seconds. Go look at something. You can look at a foul pole. You can look at a cloud, a bird. And when that pitcher steps back on the rubber, lock it back in for 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's really to maintain that focus. As of any sports, I know like different sports have their different cues, whether it's football, when the other team is in a huddle, whatever, like just being able to focus and be locked in, to take a time to relax, like just deprive and just relax. Because it's hard to maintain focus throughout the duration of a game. Of course you have to, but it's hard. So just be able to like mentally not exhaust yourself and mentally prepare for that is already going to take you to the next step.
Quick question, dude. When y'all go back to the dugout, do anybody have like headphones and stuff on? Are y'all allowed to have?
Nah. When we come in from the field in the dugout, honestly, it's more. What kind of talk? It's like more motivation talk. It depends if you're up or down. It doesn't matter. You're just always trying to add on to your lead. No one's yelling at you. It's just let's go. Like ready to rock. Some people sit down to get their drink. Some people say nothing.
Yeah.
Some that's what they do. When they come in, that's their time to just chill out for a little bit before they lock it in for their at bat or go back out to the field. So everyone has their own routine.
Are there any? And this might be a funny question, like height and weight specific requirements per base or per none of that. Because football, they be like, yo, the lineman.
Oh yeah, I know.
380 and all that, or so like for baseball.
Man, some of the baseball players come in all shapes and sizes. He's like, it's the nature of the game, which is great.
Yeah.
One of the best baseball players in the game right now is my size. He's my favorite baseball player, Mookie Betts. He's an outfielder for the LA Dodgers. He's 5'11" and 180 pounds.
Yeah.
The same height. Well, I'm a little taller than him, but the same weight. I'm 185.
Yeah.
Basically the same size.
Yeah, same size.
One of the players in the MLB team at Boston Senior in college.
But that's,
So,
it's funny. That's a great thing that you mentioned that, because again, when you start talking basketball, the first thing a lot of people look for is hype, and with football, same thing, depending on the position, the first thing they look at you, you might be 6'2", 180. Oh, you would be a great this, so you would be a great that. So baseball is just pretty much like, if you know how to play, if you can mentally lock in.
If you can play, you gonna play.
Okay.
No matter what you look like, you gonna play.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So we talked about a lot of great things. Let me ask you this. Could you let me know, like, what do you think some of your challenges, or like if you had challenges or failures throughout your journey of playing baseball, what were some things that was like heavy challenges, or things that you said, I didn't do as great as I should have, and if I would have did this, and that, I think things would have added up better for me?
Yeah. The biggest thing for me is growing up, I faced no adversity. None.
Mm-hmm.
Zero. Zilch. Not at Chamberlain, not at CYBL. I never faced adversity ever.
You was a great athlete. I told you. You was a great athlete.
Yeah, never sat the bench. Never had someone better. Like it just never happened.
Yeah.
Then until you get to college, then you look down each side of the line, and everyone's as good as you or better.
Yeah.
So it's more of a reality check that you really got to turn it on. Yeah. So that's the biggest challenge. Other than that, man, it goes by fast.
Yeah.
That's how I tell these youth athletes. I know it's crazy to think that these athletes go to tournaments playing 4 or 5 games a day. Enjoy it. Because once you get to college, after one game, you're ready to be tired. You're ready to go to bed. So like, enjoy it. That's the biggest thing I tell you guys. Enjoy it, because it goes by so fast. And there's so much more to learn, and account for your sport. The development never stops.
Yeah.
Like to this day, I still work on stuff with my son.
And it's funny because that's life. Development never stops in life. You should always be looking to better yourself.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, it's crazy that I say it all the time. If I knew the things I know about baseball now that I did in high school, it would be raps. But that's life. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing I tell youth athletes: be coachable. That's another big point. Be coachable. You don't have to implement everything a coach says, but listen. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Yeah.
Listen, because there's things that coaches and speakers and other coaches might say that might click with you, that help you define your game, no matter what sport it is. I've had coaches come up to me after games, just saying like, "Man, you're a great kid. Yeah, man, you're really good." Like, those things. Oh man, those things add up, and they mean a lot. It goes back on your character.
Yeah,
it goes back to being more than an athlete. Like, some of these things, like, it's just how you carry yourself.
And I tell you, man, again, parenting, man, parenting. Even like I said, when coaching you basketball, when you were younger, you was a good kid, regardless whether you got mad or whatever. It was just, that comes with when you're competitive, but you were always a good kid. And I think that also comes, like I said, your circle and parenting. So that's definitely a great point. So is it a time where it might be too late? And when I say that, like, say if a kid is 14 or 15 and he just pick up a baseball bat, you think it'd be hard for him to fill that gap? If he focusing, you think that's too late, or he still have?
It's never too late with any sport. It's never too late. Never too late. I promise you. I've known athletes that have come into college to play one sport, just transferred out to play another sport they haven't played since their sophomore year of high school. It's never too late.
Yeah,
it's like riding a bike.
Yeah,
if they haven't played baseball, before, it's even better. You haven't established any bad habits.
No. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Yeah, definitely. And it's funny that we mentioned that playing other sports, because even if you look at Mo Ali Cox that played for VCU, and
now he's playing for the Colts.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like,
Man,
how does that happen? Yeah, you know, that's
Jamie,
amazing.
that's a prime example right there. Mo Ali Cox
Mhm.
played VC basketball for 4 years. Could have got drafted to go to the NBA, but now he's a starting tight end for the Indianapolis Colts.
That
Probably
is,
hadn't played football since his sophomore year in high school.
yeah, that is definitely amazing. So what's
And there's go ahead.
no, go ahead. Say what you was about to say.
And there's lots of multi-sport college athletes.
Mhm.
Lots of LSU. You look at some of these big time. There's a I forgot his last name. He plays baseball and football for LSU.
Mhm.
I forgot the kid's name, but that's fine. That's perfect. People are allowed to do that. That's
Yeah,
good.
Russell Wilson. He
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
was it Tua?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. There you go. Kyler get him a
Yeah,
two. Kyler Murray.
yeah, Oklahoma. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That's and then again, that's a great thing. And you know, and like I said, I like the game of baseball. I think it's definitely a respectable game. But again, I think with our people, it's a lot of times it's visibility and the cool factor, right? You know, you see these basketball. You know, like I said, basketball players are more notable because you see them more. Baseball player, you probably wouldn't even know. The average person probably wouldn't even know who A-Rod was if he was walking through like
Correct.
Virginia Town Center or something like that. Like they
Oh
just,
yeah, I know.
you get what I mean. So I think again, I think just basketball from a cool like Jay-Z made the Yankee cap cool, and a lot of people weird and probably couldn't even tell you one person that ever played for the Yankees, right? So I think it's just a visibility factor and finding ways for the sport to become cool. You know, I think Jeter made it cool. There's a couple of people made it cool, but again, it's just that visibility factor, that promotion factor, and getting guys who play to say, look, try it out, try baseball. It's a cool sport, and you get to travel. You get to do the same things. You get to say do the same exact things as you do with any other sport of a basketball or football. You get to travel too. So tell me, like, um, tell me how. And I know baseball got you a a college scholarship. What else have baseball done for you?
Oh, a lot. Networking.
Mm.
I've met coaches and other student athletes, younger and older than me. You get to travel the world.
Yeah.
We travel the country. We've been everywhere. You get to see big time facilities, big time players. I mean, there's players that are
Yeah.
in the big leagues right now that I play against or
Yeah.
I play with. It brings you a lot. It brings you self, like characteristics, self skills, life skills. You learn a lot about yourself being a student athlete.
Yeah.
And I said student athlete because academics is the most important, and it's crazy because student athletes think they might get a skirt away with not doing work, but no, honestly, you have it the hardest.
Yeah, because you got to keep up with both. Yeah.
Yeah, you got all the eyes looking at you, so you got it the hardest. But baseball has brought me a lot. Relationships, man. Some of the relationships I've built with my coaches, my teammates, those are lifelong. Those are guys you see every day, through good, bad, ugly, all of it. If that's one reason, that's crazy because here at school, like I live off campus, and everyone says, like, D, like, you don't live with none of your teammates? Nah, my teammates don't live with me. I see them every day. Why would I want to live with them? You know?
Yeah.
But those relationships and those bonds, those memories, those are lifelong.
Man, you know, it's funny that you say that because right now, you know, my daughter is definitely good enough to play college tennis, you know, and I'm trying to get her to understand, you know, she's getting older now, teenager, is get her to understand like it has nothing to do with what you're known as, but you got to understand, you got to experience life for the things that you can't buy. Like you can't buy your way. Well, some people try buying it, sending their kids to school, you know, paying for their kids to go to a certain school, but you can't buy your way to you can't pay for them type of experience. You know, me, I played at Virginia State. And like my friends now, you know, if people read our chats, like, you know, the texting we do, the stories we tell, the fun we had, like, you know, going on the road, and you know, back then, you know, Virginia State, they probably got way more money now than they had then. But you know, just having to sacrifice, you know, the bus ride, and you know,
those, like, everyone thinks they think those moments, like the bus rides. Like the bus rides ain't what they think they. I guess some people think silence.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one bit of silence on that bus ride.
Yes.
Or I felt bad for when we went to California my sophomore year, for the people out, the rest of the people on the plane.
Yeah.
Because we got guys that never been to California before. I'm talking about the pilot talking about we were about to land, and you would have thought we won the World Series.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just little moments.
Yeah.
Like, even it doesn't even have to be laughing and joking. It can be serious moments. Bro, I tell you, I can go in any of my coach's office and have a real face-to-face conversation about anything, life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's one of
the characters. And I think that's one of the biggest things that parents outside of students, they don't like understand. Like, it is more than being an athlete. I'm telling you, like, when I go home and my parents are saying about the semester and ask me about my coaches, like, or ask me about baseball and my teammates, like, I can't even put in the words the fun we have. I can't. There's nothing I can say that would describe the amount of fun we have.
Yeah, the bond, the memories. It's just.
I can't show you videos. I can't show you a picture. There's nothing. There's nothing ever can explain some of the how hard I've laughed at some of the stuff they say. Man. There's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I can even remember like pinpointing, and this might be a little before your time. Like, I think Tupac had a video where or a picture something where he had like a small fitted shirt on and like a fedora type hat. And we going up, I remember me and my friends, we was on a trip somewhere playing basketball when I was at Virginia State. And we went in like one of the little boutique shops, and they had them shirts, and all of us put this, like, we just was putting this on. And, and it was just it was just hilarious. And we still, like, just the stories like that, you could just think back at time after time, like, I don't know, like when we played basketball at Shaw University, man, them people who sit, when you hit that bench, the crowd behind you, I mean, it's not a big gym. It's not like a Coliseum, it's a gymnasium that might be the size of Wilder. And the people are literally on your back. When are you going to get in the game? They might smack you in the back of the head, like anything. It's like, those stories can't be replaced.
It's crazy. That's the same thing. It's the same stuff now. Man, don't go to College of Louisville. Yeah. Man, them Louisville fans, NC State, they ruthless. They know everything. They know your mama name, your dad name, your sister. Don't let them know your girlfriend name. Because then it's a wrap.
Yeah. So that's definitely. I think that's one of the main things, man. The memories, and I'm glad you're getting to experience that. So, where do you go from here? You're doing great in school, doing great in baseball. What's your ultimate goal?
So, of course, the ultimate goal is to get drafted, as should be everyone's goal.
Yeah.
But I have different paths. I'm very, what's the word? I guess organized of what I want to do. I think education is a big part of my success growing up, and I think that journey is going to continue. With the way our years work with COVID and everything, it's confusing. But long story short, don't get drafted, then I will be going to grad school to get my master's in sports administration or sport and recreation leadership. Where I'm going to get my master's, I have no idea. Not really no idea. I do have an idea. I've already started to apply to schools. So that's kind of my next path is attain my master's, stay in school for a little bit, especially for the job market, how it is right now. I think it's a perfect time for people to get their master's and their jobs and stuff like that. So that's where I'm headed right now.
Do you have another year of baseball left, or is this your last season? Because I know what COVID affected some people, right? And I think
so
basketball, do they give you another year?
It's confusing. So I still have my COVID year. This ain't my last year.
Okay.
Yeah, this ain't my last year.
So going off on, and just something to think of, I just thought about. Have you ever thought about transferring from JMU?
Never.
Never. And I only ask that because of the transfer portal.
I'm biased. I'm JMU biased. And what this place has offered me, I don't think any other university could. And the only reason, of course, like, I'm considering other schools it's because I've been here for 4 years. Not saying I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I know there's other schools have other things to offer. I know that.
Yeah.
But this is my top choice for grad school, and that's really, if I get in, I'm staying here.
I think
it's hard because like I'm literally JMU biased. Like I feel like we're the best school in Virginia, hands down. I'm not even talking about athletics, academically, facility wise. That's just me. Like what this place has offered me, I don't think any other school could.
Oh,
I think like everyone always says like, do you ever regret like committing early? No. After being here for 4 years, absolutely not. I would recommend this school for anyone.
Oh,
anyone.
Great. That's great.
Anyone. And it's great to see the youth that from back at home coming here as student athletes or without student athletes. We've had plenty of student athletes from Richmond come through here. Rashad Robinson, who played football at Hermitage, just graduated from here last year. Zachary Jacobs, who used to play basketball at Trinity. He's played basketball here now.
We had Zach too. We had Zach. He was tall.
Yeah, I'm tired. I have Rashad's little brothers here. Trey Peoples' little brother Robbie. He's a freshman here.
Oh, really? I remember Robbie playing basketball.
I saw him the other day.
Nice.
I think at the other campus. Yeah, Robbie's here. It's cool. Good to see people from back home migrating here. Yeah. They love it here, which is fantastic.
What's the guy from John Marsh used to go there too? I think he transferred. Greg. I forgot his name.
Greg Jones.
That's great.
Yep. He transferred, but I think he liked it while he was here. I think his situation was just different with like coaches and stuff. I know we just brought in a new head coach, but Greg was here. But yeah, we've had quite a few Richmond guys. Of course, we got some Richmond. I got 5 Richmond baseball players on my team now that I played with against in high school. That's
great. That's awesome. So and that's the thing. Now that's history. That's legacy. That's like, again, my thing is living life, try to find things that money can't buy. Money can't buy that. You playing with a guy now. You played with him as a youth. Now y'all playing college together. Now y'all got more members.
Like money can't buy that. Money can't buy the experiences that you have being a student athlete in college. It can't. There's nothing. Even the bad days. Yeah. Like some days, because like on your highs, you kind of look down like, dang, I went through that. Yeah. Chalk it up. Yeah. But like you might not experience that low any other place. And that low point in your life, or that low whatever, can help develop you, help grow you. Yeah. Help make better decisions in the long run.
Yeah, I remember missing free. I remember in college missing free throws to win the game. Yeah. I remember it. And I remember a friend of mine, one of my teammates, his dad, and it was right before we was going home for things. Well, I was going home with them for Thanksgiving. He was from Baltimore. His dad probably gave me one of the best life talks ever. You know, I was sick to my stomach, but you know, his words meant everything. You get what I mean? Like, it's a game, you know, and don't let it beat you up. You'll never be the same. It's a game. It's going to happen. Just try to make the next, you know. He just kept encouraging me. And you know, to this day, I remember the riot, man, and I respect Mr. English to this day. You know, I think them words did me right. You know, and again, like you said, you're gonna have good days. You're gonna have bad days, man. It's just all in what you do.
That's the biggest thing I know it's hard. It's easier said than done because I'm the victim to beating yourself up, being hard on yourself, and that's all good. It keeps you disciplined. It keeps you accountable. I'm all for it. But it comes to a point, you got to ask yourself, are you having fun? You got to ask yourself, are you having fun? Because when you stop having fun, that's when there's a problem. Yeah. Ask yourself, keep asking yourself, are you having fun? Go out there and have fun. Don't be so hard on yourself.
That's it.
Go out there and play.
That's the thing. It's funny that you say that, and I'm gonna make sure my daughter see this interview. That's the thing. Like, again, she's at that age now where I think tennis is just more work for her, and it's so much pressure. And again, I would put some of it on me, because to me it's like, you have the talent, you know, maximize your talent. You got this many years left. You always said you don't want to go pro. There's nothing wrong with that, but play enough to get yourself in college, you know. And I know it's probably with it being
and have fun. Have fun with all athletes. Have fun while you're doing it. Yeah. Don't take it for granted. Like I said, the sport could be taken away from you any day. Yes. I've seen it happen. To guys. Have fun while you're doing it. cherish every moment, the good and the bad,
Yep.
and just really have fun. That our coaches said to us enjoy the opportunity. Enjoy it. Everyone doesn't have it. There's people in this world that will pay millions to be in the spot that you're in right now. And some of y'all, there's lots of athletes out here that are doing it for free.
Yep.
Enjoy it. Before every game, he'll give us a little speech, tell us what's going on. And the last thing he said, have fun.
Yes.
That's all we can ask for you guys. Work hard, have fun, play with energy, play fast, compete, and have fun.
Yep.
After you do that, everything's going to take care of itself.
Definitely, man. And I definitely appreciate you taking the time with me. But I want to ask you this last thing, and I think you touched on it a little bit. If you can do it all over again, what would you do different? Would you change anything?
Man, I think I got this question the other day.
And I think it's funny because I hear you say, you'll change the way you train because you got hurt or something like that. I'm not trying to be funny, but I think the injuries just for, man, you was fast, man. You don't understand that energy you had.
Yeah, but if I could change anything, about, I think it would be the way I went about my business in high school or at the younger ages. It wasn't, because I know that's the difference between, I tell everyone, the difference between going Division I to Division II, Division III is the way you go about your business. That's academically, athletically, everything having a purpose, making everything having a purpose. Why are you doing it? Just don't do it just because you chalk it up and say, oh, I worked out today. Did you make yourself better? Did you get better? So that's the biggest thing out there. I admit there's times I've worked out in high school, but I just worked out just because I knew it just like it was look good saying I worked out.
Yeah.
But usually, did I go in the gym or did I go hit and get better, or did I just waste some time? So that's the biggest thing I've changed. Other than that, the adversity is going to come. I think that just makes me a better person. So I wouldn't change that for a while. I'd welcome the adversity. And that's another thing I challenge the youth athletes that are trying to play college and professional. Welcome the adversity. The adversity is going to come. Challenge yourself. Definitely challenge yourself. Saying everything's not butterflies and roses and easy and can just be given to you. You gotta work. You gotta work.
And I think that's the hard part. That's the part that people try to skip. That's the part. You definitely
and there's all these. And I encourage these the athletes, like look up these guests, these professional guest motivational speakers, Inky Johnson. Who the coaches around the world that do like conferences. Listen to Dabo Sweeney from Clemson talk. Listen to Nick Saban from Alabama, Coach K at Duke.
Yeah.
Listen to what these coaches got to say, what they look for in their players.
Yep.
Try to implement some of the characteristics into your own game. See where.
Yep. And it's funny because, when I get out and I get to speak, and I tell kids all the time, and especially like if it's a college or something, it's like, your coach took a chance in you. So although this school might have been your first school, your school of choice, you wanted to go to Duke, but now you at this school, you know what you should do? Run like you Coach K in this gym. Don't run like, oh, I'm here just because I'm here, right?
Yep.
And I think that's what it is. People got to respect where they at and treat it like it's where they want it to be versus, oh, well, I'm here, thank you for the scholarship, but I really wanted to go somewhere else. You get what I mean? I definitely appreciate that. So I'm not going to hold you up anymore, man. Definitely good to see you. Tell your mom, your family, your sister, your brother, your dad. I'm going to tell them I said what's up, man. And I definitely appreciate you doing the video. I appreciate you doing, I said the video. I appreciate you doing the interview. And I'm super duper proud of you, man. I ain't